the ad that I talked briefly about yesterday from the Latino Victory Caucus in Virginia. And for those who missed it, I want to play it because this is, I think, the worst political ad I have ever seen in my life. I mean, I think this makes the Daisy ad, the famous Daisy ad from 1964, where LBJ essentially accused Barry Goldwater of wanting to get the United States nuked. It makes that ad look like nothing. I mean, this is really an egregious ad. So for those who can't see, you're about to see a bunch of minority children who are running away from a truck that has on it a Confederate flag, a "Don't Tread on Me" license plate, and an Ed Gillespi bumper sticker because the truck is going to run them over because it's a white supremacist seeking to kill minority children. So Latino kid stops, and then he sees an Asian kid, and then both of them start running because here comes that truck again. It's got an Ed Gillespi bumper sticker on it. And every racially diverse child in Virginia is on this block. And here they're all running away from the truck. And oh no, they've run into a dead end. And here comes the truck. Suddenly it's night, and the headlights come up, and all the kids wake up from their terrible dream.
Is this what Donald Trump and Ed Gillespi mean?
And then it's a picture of the people, the parents watching the Charlottesville hate rally. It says reject hate vote November 7th. And it's paid for by the Latino Victory Fund. It's not authorized by the candidate, but obviously the candidate did not condemn it. The reason that I'm playing this ad again is because it really does speak to the insanity that has now engulfed huge parts of the left. You know, the great conflicts in American history have largely been driven not just by political differences, but by the feeling that those political differences we are unable to overcome those political differences, that we hate each other. Right? The actual hate in this ad is not from Ed Gillespi. Right? The actual hate in this ad is from this Latino Victory Fund. It's from the campaign for Ralph Northam, who actually, you know, if he didn't give the go-ahead to the ad, which would have been illegal, he obviously hasn't condemned the ad. And there was another mailer that actually went out from the Northam campaign, endorsed by the Northam campaign, linking, again, Ed Gillespi to what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. It's really pretty horrific stuff. When I read Federalist 1 yesterday, and I talked about how Alexander Hamilton had specifically cited the idea that in politics, you have to assume the best intentions on the part of your opponent if you want to convince them. We're no longer in the age of convincing. We're now in the age of getting out your base. And I think that that's a political truism. I think that people missed that in 2012. But in 2016, I think people got that it was all about getting out the base. No one was trying to appeal to the median voter. Now it was just about getting out the people who already like you. And the best way to get them out is to essentially say that your opponent is evil and horrible and nasty and terrible. But if you do this too much, if you rely on this tactic too much, you actually end up telling Americans that the people that they live with in their same community are evil, horrible, nasty, brutish people. And if you do that, it's very hard to put the country back together again. Because I can have conversations with people with whom I disagree. I do it all the time for a living. I do it all the time casually. I live in LA. I mean, this stuff happens. But I don't actually think the people I live with in LA and the individuals with whom I speak are nasty, horrible people. I think they may believe bad things that are bad, but I don't believe they're nasty, evil people. This ad essentially suggests that people who disagree with you are nasty, evil people. Again, it falls into the intersectional politics. You want an example of intersectional politics at its finest? This is the example of intersectional politics at its finest, right? This idea that you're going to have all of these various minority groups and they're all running away from the evil white majority that is chasing them down on streets. It's really a horrific ad. And that's not the only evidence that we have of that over the last 24 hours. Elliot Hamilton, reporter for Daily Wire, he got a hold of an email that was issued by a woman apparently named Madeleine Leader. She is the head of data services for the technology department at the DNC, and she wrote this letter. She was trying to search people out for jobs. She said, a bit more than just the messenger here, but we in the technology department here at the DNC are looking to hire for the following positions. And then she lists a bunch of positions. And then she says, as you may have heard, we are rebuilding the technology team into a robust, well-oiled machine that can tackle all elections from the presidential down to dog catcher and school board. What's more important is that we are focused on hiring and maintaining a staff of diverse voices and life experiences, something that we desperately need if we hope to secure the future of our country. So they're not just trying to hire a data science lead or a full stack engineer or a product designer. They're trying to hire a staff of diverse voices and life experiences because, when your computer crashes, what you really need is somebody coming in and explaining to you how they grew up poor in inner city. That's really, really important. I know when my computer crashes, the first thing I do when I call our IT guy is I say to him, please tell me the story of your life and how your diverse experiences have led you to the point where you can fix my Mac. No, that's not how any of this works, but that's not even the bad part. Here's what the email apparently says, according to Madeleine Leader, again, the Democratic National Committee Data Services Manager, who gave a no comment to Daily Wire when we asked her about it. She said, please let me know if you have any questions or concerns, and feel free to forward on to your contact. I personally would prefer that you not forward to cisgender straight white males, since they're already in the majority. She says straight out in the email that she doesn't want this email forwarded to people who happen to be straight and white because they're already in the majority. It's that same sort of intersectional logic that leads to the idea that we can gauge your value as a human being. We can gauge your worthiness in the workplace by your color, by your life experiences, as opposed to by the quality of work you do or by the kind of activity in which you take place. Again, the slander in that Latino victory ad, the slander that everyone who flies a Confederate flag is trying to run down black children, which is insane. I mean, there are legitimately hundreds of thousands of Americans who are not doing that and have Confederate flags. The idea that everyone who's voting for Ed Gillespi sides with the Charlottesville hate protesters. The idea that anyone who has a "Don't Tread on Me" on the front of their car, that person is trying to run down some poor Muslim child on the streets of Alexandria. It's just insane. But again, it comes from the same intersectional place that this white majority is inevitably imbued with a nasty, horrible racism that cannot be fixed. And as long as we think that, as long as the left keeps doing that, they're going to get pushback from the other side. Right? Trump was a symptom of this. You want to know one of the reasons why Trump won? One of the reasons why Trump won is because Americans got sick and tired of being told that they were the types of people who are trying to drive people down. And Hillary's deplorable lines was the worst thing she could have said during that campaign, because when she said deplorables, she may have been referring to the alt-right, but instead she painted with a broad brush that half of all Trump supporters were members of the alt-right. That, of course, was untrue.